No way!
Hands up! Get your fucking hands up! Don't you fucking move! Get your fucking hands up! Don't you fucking move! Hands up! If you try anything, I will fucking drop you!
I'm sorry.
Wait. What'd you say? You say sorry? Oh. He's sorry. Ah, damn, man. Hey, you're good, dude.
Hey, I mean, I wasn't supposed to be here, so sorry.
Hey, no, all good, brother. All good. Hey, mistakes happen. Water under the bridge. Hey, mistakes happen, dude. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, make yourself comfortable. I think they probably got snacks in here or something. Yeah, man. Hey, we're sorry. It's all good, man. Hey, you take it easy. Have a good one, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Psych!
Alright y'all, welcome back to Come With Arms channel. Okay, so kind of staying in the theme of the intro we did there, we're checking out the Royal Canadian Mounted Police Emergency Response Team. Now we checked out the ERT before, but this video looks a little bit more comprehensive. I don't know how old it actually is. It was uploaded 4 months ago on the FD Real channel, and then one of y'all actually sent it to me. It looks like a good one, so I wanted to check it out. Now, I gotta say thanks to Seb for hooking it up with all the ERT stuff. I gotta say it really kind of helped with the intro there. I'm not trying to be like stolen valor or anything. I just think it's a very cool police unit, very cool aesthetic, and very cool guys from kind of what I've been able to ascertain. But yeah, should be good. This is about 22 minutes long, so let's go ahead and get into it. Damn, okay. Bit of a spooky intro there. What the heck are we seeing? Oh, they're pulling the door off, okay. Nice. Ooh, damn, okay. That was a cool freaking intro. Nice.
The world out there in policing is not the same way it was 10, 20, 30 years ago. Things are becoming more violent, more organized, and we have to stay one step ahead.
Yeah, so I can't tell if they're just showing older clips now or if the documentary is a little older, but I'm excited to see, because I know they go more in depth as to their training, which we didn't really get to see so much before. We kind of saw like one scenario, but this covers a lot more, gives a lot more background for the ERT. But yeah, I'm not sure if this is like the retro. I like how like footage from like the 80s and 90s is like retro to me now.
The ERT is an extra level of force that can be brought in to solve a critical situation.
As everybody else is running away from the situation, we're normally the guys that are running to the situation.
Damn.
Our teams are the last resort
Pretty dope.
that a police force has.
Hey, honey, are you okay? It's the police.
What are those medals? Dude, they got some nice clips for this. Yo, the snow camo stuff is so sick. It looks like old school, but I don't imagine like snow camouflage and stuff could get like that much more advanced. It is a very kind of eerie aesthetic.
On the outskirts of Ottawa, this peaceful road leads to the National Tactical Training Center, where candidates are trained to be the future members of the RCMP's Emergency Response Team.
Little tactical run, okay. I didn't know they were rocking MP5s though.
Is the National Training Coordinator of ERT.
This is where we do pretty much 90% of all the ERT training for our teams across the country.
Please put your hands in the air! Do it now!
Nice. The rubber ducky MP5s.
ERT is a
Yeah, so I imagine this is probably like an early 2000s kind of thing, maybe like late 90s even. Again, just kind of looking at the equipment and looking at the weapons
highly
themselves.
trained tactical unit, trained to perform high-risk operations.
Well, the ERT program stands for Emergency Response Team, and a lot of different outfits around
Interesting
the world,
targets.
different things, tactical.
Is that Chuck Norris? What is the... I don't know if Chuck Norris has this guy as a hostage or if this guy is using What is going on here, actually? I have no idea. Chuck Norris got somebody hostage. Is Chuck Norris Canadian?
Teams, SWAT
like I should know
the
that.
most common acronym that's used for ERT.
Jeez, they
It's
messed that
basically a
window
team
up.
of highly trained individuals that have specialized tactics, use specialized weapons, and work together as a team to resolve situations.
1972 Munich Olympics. Palestinian terrorists wreak havoc. 11 athletes are murdered while the German police are unable to assemble an effective response. The world is in shock.
Yeah, we just checked out the SEK, which was a German police unit that was kind of built after this 1972 massacre. If it had kind of like a worldwide like resonance, then I'd imagine that's kind of why we're seeing a few other specialized police units from around the world be formed as a result.
Canada is the site of the next Olympics in 1976.
Oh, okay. Dang.
The very real fear of terrorism on Canadian soil was the genesis of the RCMP's emergency response team.
Interesting.
When the Olympics were coming to Canada in '76, the RCMP realized that there was a need for some special abilities. All police officers are very well trained, but there's situations that occur with violent perpetrators that take another skill set that's maybe above and beyond what the regular police officer may bring to the table.
That looks cool in theory, but then you have to think like there was someone like coming behind them and putting like leaves on top of them to make it look like a cool shot.
At the National Tactical Training Center, the learning curve is steep.
Why did he drop his magazine?
Tactics, procedures, weapons drills.
Oh, the old school EOTechs, man. What are those pistols?
Taking them from what they get taught as a police officer in depot, we take them from there into tactical shooting and moving, and then advanced skill sets with the firearms. We teach them to rescue hostages, deal with any situation they have to in interior combat, whether it's inside a building, inside a vehicle.
Man, CQB has come a long way, huh?
They have to think on their feet. There has to be teamwork, has to be good, sound decision-making in there, discerning who is an adversary and who is someone we're in there to protect and rescue.
Yeah, and that's a really tough thing. That's why I need people who get a lot of training when it comes to CQB and shoot houses, because you can really only move. For hostage situations, we kind of see these units, they move very, very quick throughout the house to try and get to those hostages as quick as they can. And of course, they have a lot of planning to kind of understand who's going to flow into what rooms, generally speaking. But again, you still need to be able to be a quick thinker to process things, because of course you don't want to, while you think you might know everybody who's in there and where they're generally arranged, you don't want to be shooting an unarmed person it just in any sort of situation. Sometimes you can't get any intel. So you need to have that discretion to assess the target really quick and then kind of push from there.
ERT is equipped with specialized weaponry and equipment. Each has its own purpose based on the scenario or threat. But the training is more than weapons. It's tactics and judgment.
Nice.
Learning when and when not to apply lethal force.
Damn. Mouth shots.
Today's session involves vehicle takedowns for high-risk vehicles or passengers. We try and teach them how to do a rolling vehicle stop, select a site and take custody of the occupants of the vehicle with minimizing the risk to the public at large.
Your hands up! Turn around!
Oh, okay, they got people in the bushes too.
These future ERT.
Why was this dude running with his pistol when he had an MP5?
In critical situations, these future ERT members will be counted on to get the job done, no matter what.
Every ERT member across the country has the same training. We can take one of the teams in
BC,
that's
cool, maritime
put them in the Atlantic province with the team there.
Dude.
And it's the same tactics, the same equipment, the same standard operating procedures, and they can fit right in and they can get the job done.
Oh, dude, these guys can do a lot. Was that Q-tips? Put their Q-tips in there.
Things are becoming more violent, more organized, and we have to stay one step ahead. So we're constantly reevaluating our training.
Nice, okay, there's the bang.
We go international, we go across the country to other police departments to evaluate our own training and tactics to increase them and improve them as time goes on.
Yeah, I do. I heard that the ERT trains with like the Customs and Border Protection, and also I think the FBI's HRT. So it is kind of cool to have that sort of cross or interagency training to be able to kind of reassess. Sorry, it's an unfortunate pause there. To kind of reassess your tactics and also just kind of see what cool whiz-bang technology is out there now.
The world out there in policing is not the same way it was 10, 20, 30 years ago.
Criminal activity is not restricted to land. The emergency response team is also called in when there are threats at sea.
Dude.
Land or water.
No kidding.
If ERT gets the call, the situation is critical.
We need, as a national police force, to have a presence on the waters to deal with anything from criminal activity right up to terrorist activity, whether that be on the Great Lakes, on the West Coast, or on the East Coast. And the tactics that the members are going to learn out there will allow them to board anything and secure any threats that are going to be coming into our waters that we know of.
Damn, okay. I didn't even know they had a maritime aspect, but it makes a lot of sense if that's the kind of go-to counterterrorism team.
Victoria, British Columbia. Inside this downtown building, these elevators lead to a quiet basement. But behind this door is anything but quiet.
What is it?
This is where the ERT is doing marine security training. They're the on-water tactical unit for the RCMP, and they're gearing up for another day of intense training.
What we're doing here in Victoria is we're training our operational teams for deployments on the water, whether that be dock situations, houseboats. They could be dealing with large freighters, pretty much everything and anything that they could have a criminal, federal, or provincial mandate to deal with.
Interesting. I mean, now I know like pirates necessarily might not be as much of a threat per se, but again, it's not really outside of the realm of possibility for somebody, a criminal, to be doing criminal activity on a ship that these guys have to respond to. But I mean, yeah, I guess it is possible. Any sort of terrorist, any sort of pirate can kind of find their way on a ship here. I just generally kind of picture that elsewhere, like around Africa. But yeah, I guess there's kind of some onesies and twosies, maybe some cells, or maybe just some cells that are located somewhere else that are trying to be a little bit ballsy, I guess.
These tactics have been refined and perfected over the past 30 years. It's an ongoing perfection. Their objective is to neutralize dangerous situations
like 20 feet
while
or
preserving
something.
the lives of hostages and team members.
There's a couple of big components that go on in a marine environment. Number one, we've got to get on the ship. So that's kind of a whole separate part of it. And we've got ladders and systems for getting onto ships. It's difficult. You have, the ladder tends to swing out underneath you. It's really easy to hang from almost a flexed arm hang. And if you do that, you're going to blow your arms up real quickly and you won't get off the ladder. So there's techniques that we're teaching them, keeping their legs underneath them, climbing with their legs, and getting onto the ship. And then once they're on the ship, we want the team to get to the bridge and take control of the bridge as quickly as possible.
Man, that looks cold.
They move as a team, covering 360 degrees. Unknown threats could be lurking anywhere, behind any door, and down any passageway.
Yeah, we didn't see many MP5s before.
The Arabian Sea. The Canadian Navy intercepts a Pakistani drug-running vessel.
Wait.
They board the ship and take it by force.
Interesting.
Uncovering over $65 million worth of drugs. The same threats are now present in Canadian waters.
Damn.
Drugs.
Yeah,
weapons,
okay, that makes sense.
Illegal immigrants. Terrorists. These are just...
Yeah, okay, so that makes a lot more sense when you talk about the drug smuggling aspect of things. And I don't know if they're necessarily trying to get it to America, but yeah, sometimes it is easier, I guess, to move it through the Canadian and Mexican borders as opposed to just kind of getting it onto American soil directly. But man, that's pretty crazy. So we have the Coast Guard MSRT, which kind of does a lot of the kind of drug smuggling or immigrants that are kind of just trying to deal with that. We also have Border Patrol as well. But for the most part, I think they have generally kind of separated jurisdiction. I don't think Border Patrol necessarily operates as much on the water. So I guess maybe for these guys, they kind of just dual hats what the Coast Guard and also Border Patrol would be doing on the American side, which sounds like a lot. And I guess that's why it's important for them to be able to work the maritime aspect as well.
Of the situations that ERT members prepare for.
To random snow. Yeah, I wonder if they're still rocking the MP5s though. We didn't see that in the newer video.
When they
board
board
more
a suspicious
urban.
ship, their eyes are trained to see everything that moves. Everything. They carry weighted red plastic guns while training, but they treat these guns with respect.
Why don't
It's
they just
that
get?
respect that keeps people safe.
Why don't they just carry real
Their
guns?
intense
Though?
scenarios include international cooperation, especially with the United States.
You guys probably did that in about 4 or 5 minutes. It's not bad. I mean, you have to do it in about 2 normally. First time, excellent. My role in state is I am commander for our
That is
waterborne
pretty
strike
good.
team, which is a regional
Jeez.
anti-terrorism team on the water. It's from the state of Florida. And we train pretty much the same way the RCMP trains. That way we both keep on table with new ideas and new tactics. And it's a cooperative sharing effort.
It's not just the threats
Damn.
on the vessel that
A lot colder
concern
there
ART.
than Florida.
Hypothermia, shock, drowning, fear of heights, realities of working at sea.
Well, this is a jump from height station where we teach them how to jump off a dock or a ship,
Station.
more specifically, cross their legs and then land safely in the water so they don't get injured.
Jumping from over 30 feet into icy
Damn.
cold water with 70 pounds of gear on.
Yeah,
The
how do they
impact
stay afloat?
could be crippling and potentially fatal.
Is their stuff buoyant at all? Dude, I'd sink like a rock. Even without the gear. It's a fight for me to get to the surface.
The vest I'm wearing has 70 pounds of lead in it so that you sink quickly. The idea is you go in disoriented, it turns you upside down, and you have to free yourself from equipment. So
Oh,
it's a test
okay.
to check for panic, for water phobia, claustrophobia, that sort of thing.
Over and over they practice,
70 pounds.
preparing themselves for the real thing.
Dude.
But the next scenario is a far greater test of courage.
Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to finish the training that the emergency response teams have taken, where they started in the pool, learned how to use the survival egress air, a small 1 cubic foot pony bottle of air. And what they're going to do today is we're going to simulate that they've capsized and they're in an overturned vessel.
You're going to get
Dude,
5 of you
guys.
to go out the bow and then 5 of you to go out the stern, breathing on the SCA.
No
Hold your
fun, dude.
breath, and we're going to do it with the
I guess
hatches
that's the point.
closed.
One by one, they climb into the overturned vessel.
Dude, it must be so dark.
Cold,
Okay.
dark,
They got a light,
upside
right?
down, totally disorienting.
Okay, that's not as bad as I thought.
What you think
then,
is
but-
up could be down. There's only enough air for a few quick breaths.
For real, you gotta track the
Seconds
bubbles.
Feel like hours.
See which direction they're going. That looks like hell. For me, that'd be like hell. I'm not a big
From a
fan of
vessel
doing
that's
stuff
been
underwater.
overturned to a vessel on the open seas. Training shifts gears and the stakes get higher. This vessel simulates a drug or arms runner with any number of unknown threats on board.
Damn, they got a lot of people. They're hitting that thing with like
The
freaking 30
drivers
guys.
need to be focused on their target. 1 second of lapsed judgment could kill an ERT member.
When you see that there's people already on ship, like we have to make sure that it keeps rolling, okay? So you have to sling your MP5 in advance to be ready to jump to go in the vessel.
The assaulters have only seconds to board the ship. In a real-life scenario, this ship deck could be full of armed hostiles.
Dude, I'd be stressing as the freaking coxswain just trying to get that ship. And I guess kind of, you need to maintain some pressure along the ship, I guess. It might help it with it just kind of bobbing up and down, but you also don't want a gap between your small boat and the vessel itself. These guys are already doing some pretty athletic stuff, just trying to climb
Only
up.
seconds to board the ship. In a real-life scenario, this ship deck could be full of armed hostiles, waiting and ready to defend their cargo. ERT recall their training. Eyes scan. Ears listen. Feet move.
Nice. Yeah, I wonder why they don't use normal MP5s. They use like the rubber training guns. I mean, I guess you don't want to drop a real MP5 in the water and then that's it, but still, like using sights helps a lot when you're like trying to
The next task,
make it more realistic,
board
I
a
guess.
much bigger ship with greater challenges, moving at a higher rate of speed. This
Damn.
scenario pushes the body to its limit.
I like the chem lights on the helmets.
Because they're going to have not just the ladder to contend with, but sea, waves.
That's sick.
The rib is going to be against a ship. The rib's moving, maybe. The rib may break away and come back. There's all kinds of stuff that they can't control in that environment, so they really need to know the climbing system before they get out there.
It's a horrible feeling to all of a sudden be burning out. You got nothing left in your arms. You're looking down at potentially peeling off head first, upside down, backwards off the ship.
Falling into the ocean can be fatal. The ship's propellers could suck you in and kill you in 1/100th of a second.
Was that for training? You jump in on purpose?
It can be pretty scary.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, honestly, for me, like, the scary thing would be just having all that freaking weight. I'd be dumping everything. I would not be saving anything like that. MP5 is going under the water and it's staying there. Jeez, yeah, that would not be fun having to jump. I mean, it looked like they got swept away super quick. I don't know how fast that ship was going.
Across the country, there are members of the emergency response team on standby. They deal with violent and dynamic scenarios that take place on land and at sea.
Damn, that
this
is a big
emergency
ship.
response team is responsible for all high-risk calls in Manitoba, an area more than 650,000 square kilometers. Standoffs are a frequent call for this ERT group. As a security measure, this member's identity must be protected.
To show you the diverse nature and the geographic size of the province, we actually had a call where we had to fly from Winnipeg all the way north up to Granville Lake.
Oh, dude. He just like kept going higher and higher. Jeez, I wonder what kind of aircraft they take for that. I mean, I don't know what kind of helicopters work best in like more like snowy environments, but I imagine they got some good stuff.
Believed armed with firearms, had seriously assaulted his common-law wife, who was pregnant at the time. We had to charter a plane from Winnipeg, fly up to Manitoba, and then from there take a helicopter in. So obviously going to a remote place like that, just basically carry what you can on your back.
Equipment can weigh over 100 pounds, but the threats weigh more heavily. To prepare ERT for high-risk situations, a large-scale provincial training scenario is taking place in northern Manitoba. It's so remote, only one road goes in and out.
Dude, look at that terrain. Imagine getting stuck.
To deploy. The drive is usually 3 hours, but a massive ice storm has crippled the main roads. Driving in this weather is extremely challenging.
No. Yeah, for real. I'd be stressing as that driver.
It takes 7 long hours before ERT arrives. They join the other agencies on site and help set up the command center. It's tiring work, but in a real-life crisis, there's no time to rest. It's not long before the scenario is presented to the team.
It's like Antarctica or something.
Close to home. A fellow RCMP member has been taken hostage. All standard police measures have been exhausted, and the situation is now critical.
Whoa.
But before they can react, they must gather intelligence and analyze the situation.
We got to gear up right now, and we're going to be going as soon as we're all geared up, ready to go.
Send your police there, you block there, secure it here, and we can send rescue.
What is that terrain? My gosh. How do you even like find out what you're looking at? Look like frickin' Wagyu beef.
Hours pass. Tensions grow. ERT leaves base camp determined to rescue the hostage. They drive and hike for miles through the remote woods in freezing conditions.
Gosh, oh my gosh, look at this freaking
The mobile command post has been constantly updating and relaying the latest intelligence. Everyone is past fatigued, but they still remain focused. As night turns into day,
moving through
the team arrives at the suspect's cabin.
It didn't look like that snowshoes.
They assess the situation. Meanwhile, the negotiators arrive on site. They deploy a robot equipped
I thought it had
with
cheese. He really wanted cheese.
To establish contact with the hostage taker, defuse the situation, and prevent casualties.
We have a phone on the robot at the front door by the orange sled.
Call after call, negotiations fail.
Hello? Contact, he said and hung up. Yeah, he doesn't want to talk anymore.
One option remains. ERT is going in, but after so many hours, it may be too late.
What? Is that the bad guy? What the heck? Jeez. When you got snowmobiles in the mix, it's crazy. Spices things up.
For almost 24 hours, a hostage rescue scenario has been taking place in a remote area of northern Manitoba. While the escaped suspect is pursued by another unit, ERT have been quietly and patiently waiting to make...
Okay, so maybe this video is a lot more recent than I thought. Holy cow, because this is what, 2008 on here?
Pursued by another unit, ERT have been quietly and patiently waiting to make their move. All attempts at negotiations have failed, and the crisis is now at its peak.
Yeah, they must be
the incident commander gives the go-ahead. ERT moves in quickly with explosives to gain entry.
Oh, okay, at least the snow is kind of
an immediate action response.
Is there a dog? Is that their dog? I hope so. I hope they didn't just like breach that dog.
This scenario has ended successfully. No one got hurt.
Some random little
both suspects
That's
are
crazy.
now in custody. This is why they train.
That's not uncommon that an actual real call might run that long or even longer, but you carry on, get the job done. That's the bottom line, in conjunction with everybody, the negotiators, our other technical units, so forth, general duty members and what have you. So everybody works together as a team to come up with a resolution to the problem at hand.
Jeez.
ERT is the last resort for the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Their grueling and intensive training is necessary. It makes for a stronger individual, a stronger team, and ultimately, a safer Canada.
Oh, so they got camouflage too, then.
Teamwork means working with other organizations and sharing tactical skills. Knowledge builds knowledge.
They're a great bunch of guys, very professional, extremely professional, and it's a joy to work with them. And I bring a lot of stuff back to the States just from the cooperative effort, like I said before, and the professionalism that the RCMP has.
On a
it's like I'm ready to go back to Florida.
National level, we stand up on par or above.
I've met people and I've been teammates with people that I absolutely count on in regular life and in work life. And there's few people you can depend on like those guys. After you've gone through the situations you have with them, you know that they're always there for you. And you're able to, a lot of times, to resolve some pretty dicey situations, and it's very rewarding. I just hope that all my parts stay together long enough that I can keep doing it till the end of my career.
For real. When you're a tough unit like that, that's actually a pretty legit consideration. Nice, dude. Okay, so I don't think that was as old as I thought it was initially, so maybe this is from like 2009, 2010 or something, but pretty freaking cool. Again, I had no idea they had a maritime aspect. So I wonder what kind of, because we've checked out the RCMP, I think, a few times, maybe like 3 times even. And I don't know necessarily how many different kind of counterterrorism police units Canada has outside of the ERT. Because I know the RCMP is like a national kind of police force. But for the ERT, they're kind of the national counterterrorism special police unit. So I wonder if they do have anything else. I imagine the Canada has their own kind of Coast Guard. And their Coast Guard might have... Well, actually, I don't even know. Maybe that is the RCMP as well. Because the RCMP, I think, also works as like the border patrol. If I'm getting any of this wrong, definitely let me know. And if there are any other police units, let me know as well, so we can maybe try and check some of those out as well. But the ERT, pretty freaking cool, very cool mission, very cool folk, again, kind of like I've said before. And yeah, so you definitely need some very solid people to go into a unit like this. I mean, just looking at this training, it's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. But the mission itself, of course, you need some very tough guys to be going into something like that. Having that as like your subject matter, you need to kind of have the right mindsets to be in an environment like that. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Again, hopefully you guys enjoyed the little intro there. I kind of mix these intros, like some serious, some just very goofy, some kind of like a combination. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. And again, it does help that I got some of the ERT stuff sent to me. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. That is it for this one. I'll see you on the next one.